Operations of Micronations, a case for legitimizing Micronations, and sovereignty of Micronations. Today, Phillip plans on speaking about the usefulness of Micronations. So if we could all give Phillip a rousing round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Good morning. Dear friends, I'd like to begin by thanking the MicroCon committee for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak. So, thank you so much. I would also like to extend to each of you the kindest regards from my grandparents, King Philip and Queen Mary Rita, the rest of the Pibocian royal family, and the whole people of Pibocip. Likewise, I would also like to extend to you kind regards from King Ben Ferguson of Fergus and President Antonov of Spurium, who unfortunately could not be here, but they told me to tell you all they said hello. They miss you. They hope to see you all soon. So, thank you. So without further ado, I'd like to talk about micronationalism and the common good, and what good it serves, and what's in it for us. So people often ask, what is micronationalism all about? What purpose does it serve? Why bother? Even within our own inter-micronational community, questions are often raised about the purpose of micronationalism. Even controversial questions such as, quote, what's in it for us, end quote. These questions are asked by members of our own community. And for a moment, I'd like to entertain that question. What is in it for us? What is in it for us? What good is it for us to be here? What good can come out of meetings like this? Although the answers may be obvious for all of us, because we spent the money and travel time to be here, we know the answers, I'd like to articulate a few good things that come out of both micronationalism and MicroCon, in order to give all of you a little bit of thought arsenal for when your friends and family ask you what you're doing this weekend. In order to do this, I'll be explaining the importance of the concept of the common good. We often hear about the concept of the common good. We hear about it in media, in government, politics, and society. But what is the common good? In my field of study, in my profession, the common good is defined as, and I quote, the sum of those conditions of social life which allow social groups and their individual members relatively thorough and ready access to their own fulfillment, end quote. This citation comes from Gaudium et Spes, a constitution on the church in the modern world, published in 1965 from the Second Vatican Council. In other words, the common good consists of those things and conditions that lead to the fulfillment of everybody. So the common good are those things that help all of us to live well. But what are these things and conditions that lead to the fulfillment of everyone? Although Gaudium et Spes does not explicitly state what the sum of these things are, or these conditions are, I think that Maslow's hierarchy of needs can provide us with some insight into what constitutes the common good. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the bottom level, the yellow bar down there, consists of the basic needs that everybody needs in order to survive. Food, water, homeostasis, clothing. The four upper levels of the pyramid consist of the things that people need to live well. According to theology, it is not enough to simply live. Nobody here is trying to simply survive. We all want to live well, or as I tell my students, we don't want to just survive, we want to thrive, right? Everyone here desires to live well, right?
Yes.
Of course, right? Of course, that's why you're here. You want to live well. And so in order to live well, in order to thrive, we need other things. We need other ideas, other types of fulfillment, other things, activities that bring fulfillment, that help us to live. So the higher four level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs consists of the things that human beings need to live well, then it can be argued that these things are a part of the common good. We can all agree that food, water, clothing are basic needs, and so therefore are a part of the common good. But for human beings, it's not enough to survive. It's needed to live well, to thrive. If that's our desire, then we need other things as well. Other things common to all of us that are good for all of us to live well. And I'll admit, right, we can debate, maybe which level certain things are or should be on a pyramid. Maybe we want to add things, maybe we can take a few of those things away. But I think there is a level of objectivity to this to say we all desire friendship. We all desire achievement. We all desire belonging. As Emperor Eric would say, it's all about belonging, right? We have our Micronational medals. It's achievement. We're here at MicroCon where we belong. We all desire that. So these higher level things are a part of the common good. If Gaudium Spes considers the things that bring human fulfillment part of the common good, then things on Maslow's hierarchy of needs are a part of the common good. So although we may debate to what extent each of us might need these things, we may all agree that each of us need some of these things in order to live well. In other words, do you think that life would be better if we had access to the things on this pyramid? Would you live better if you had access to those things? If you can see them?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Right? Yes, of course. We especially desire friendship, achievement, belonging. That's why we're here. So if all of us desire those things on that pyramid, if all of us desire things to help us not just to live but to live well, that we can constitute the common good, then the question becomes, who provides the common good? How can we access the common good? If we need those things to live and live well, where do we get it? From whom do we get it? From where do we get it? I argue that governments cannot effectively provide the fullness of the common good. Think about it. Who wants friends? Who wants to have friends? Right? Now, if I were to say, Jim, you want friends, right? Okay, you gotta go next door. The government called me, they said your friends are next door. How do you feel about that? No, right? Your friends are here, right? That you made, right? We all want to achieve, right?
Yes.
Of course. President Ball, you gotta go achieve next door. You can't achieve here. Sorry, the government said so. You don't want it that way, right? So I argue the government can't provide us with friends or achievement or belonging or meaning. Who would want to say the sign friend? So if the government cannot provide us with friends or achievement or belonging or creativity, who would? Who can do this? Gaudium Spes states, and I quote, "It grows increasingly true that obligations of justice and love are fulfilled only if each person, contributing to the common good, according to his or her own abilities and the needs of others, also promote and assist the public and private institutions dedicated to bettering the conditions of human life, end quote. In other words, who is responsible for the common good? The answer is all of us, exactly. All of us. All of us are responsible for the common good. Each and every one of us plays a role in providing the common good. Churches, mosques, synagogues, other religious organizations, the YMCAs of America, YMCA of USA, YMCA of Rotary Clubs, Kiwanis Clubs, USA Track and Field, USA Swimming and Diving. All of these other sports organizations, all of these groups, religious groups, social groups, sports groups, help to contribute to the common good. And I argue that in addition to all these other groups, churches, mosques, synagogues, YMCAs, sports groups, micronations also contribute to the common good. Our micronations, each and every one of our micronations, helps contribute to the common good. So how do micronations contribute to the common good? By being unique entities. By being very unique entities. Each micronation has their own unique contributions. But all micronations offer opportunities for friendship, for achievement, for belonging, creativity, problem solving, self-esteem, confidence, and respect for and by others, by existing as sovereign micronational entities. The things on the higher level things on that pyramid, self-esteem, creativity, problem solving, that we would live better if we had, we get it from micronationalism. How many micronational wars do we quell, or international disputes do we quell? That's creativity and problem solving, right? Our medals, our awards, our honors, creativity, right? Respect for and by others. And so I'd like to give a few examples of some of the micronations that contribute to common good. All of the micronations do. So, although I'm going to talk about a few of them very quickly, I'm going to challenge you to think, how does your micronation contribute to the common good? How do you help? Let's see. Okay. So, for example, Vishwamitra did the G20 summit, right? Which was a space for different micronations to meet online and discuss different ideas and problem solve, right? And exchange different ideas and give presentations. This is actually where this presentation originated. Zakistan gave a presentation last year at MicroCon, and you talked about how you gave passports to people from Zakistan who never had a passport, who didn't belong anywhere else. You gave them a place to belong, right? MicroCon, of course, right? Creates an atmosphere of friendship, belonging, problem solving, respect for and by others. That was number one rule last year, right? Respect others. West Arctica, with its environmental sensitivity, ecology, right? You contribute to the common good by making sure our common home is secure. Right? The American Empire, right? And its academic pursuits, right? It's all about belonging, right? Emperor, it's all about belonging. Pibocip, creativity, academics. I personally do a lot with academic work, trying to write papers to help us articulate our thoughts on micronationalism. And we also do work for feeding the hungry in our local community. And I also like to add that Phillip also does a lot with academics, like National Archives. So although the list is exhaustive, and I only mentioned a few here, I'd like to challenge all of you to think, how do your micronations do? One more for Sojamistan, right? Creates creativity through the arts with music, right? It's a wonderful thing. So Malasia helped with educating people on micronationalism and politics, right? So many wonderful ways that all of you help. Well, I can't list them all. Please don't be mad at me that I can't, right? My challenge is, now it's your job. Now your micronation can articulate, here's how I contribute to the common good. Here's what my micronation does to help others, to help us, to make our world a better place. So when the question is asked, what's in it for us? The answer is the common good. Although many of our micronations might not offer fruits and vegetables, minted coins, and some other quote-unquote tangible, quote-unquote aspects of the common good, we all offer the important, quote, intangible, quote, aspects of common good, which are arguably just as important. So what's in it for us? Friendship, achievement, belonging, creativity, problem solving, self-esteem, confidence, respect for and by others, and so much more that help each and every one of us to live well, provided by the common good, so that all people may be raised up to a new hope. Thank you. Thank you.